Hi everyone, this is Tracy. Please like and subscribe, it really helps the channel. In 1985, Dior launched a fragrance called Poison. Several restaurants in Paris reportedly banned it. People reported headaches. A British newspaper described it in a review that reads now as both appalled and faintly impressed with itself as a chemical weapon in a purple bottle. The purple bottle is shaped like an apple, specifically Snow White's apple, which I would like you to sit with for a moment. Someone at Dior sat in a meeting and said, let's call it Poison. Put it in a bottle shaped like the apple from Snow White and make it smell like something a powerful woman would choose rather than something done to her. And then it became one of the best-selling fragrances of the decade. Women wanted to smell like poison. A lot of women, for a long time. Not all women, not even most women, but a significant and commercially consequential number of women decided that smelling slightly threatening was something they wanted to do. This is information. It is also this episode. So let me spray Poison on skin. Poison is a dark, dense, animalic, fruity floral. It has a berry forward opening that deepens progressively into something incense-laden. Tuberose heavy in the base. In fact, it's the tuberose pushed into a register that could be charitably described as confrontational and honestly be described as unapologetic. It has sillage, a trail that ensures people know that you've been in a room after you've left it. It is not subtle, and it doesn't want to be subtle. The psychology of armor fragrance is something the fragrance industry has always understood and seldom said plainly. Fragrance is a way of claiming space before you've walked into a room, of establishing your presence before you've said a word, of controlling, at minimum, the first impression, the olfactory impression that arrives before the visual one, before the verbal one, before anyone has had time to think what they think. A fragrance that makes you smell threatening is a fragrance that makes you smell powerful. In 1985, against the specific backdrop of professional women entering rooms that had previously been closed to them, against shoulder pads and Reagan and the particular anxieties of that particular moment, Poison said, "You belong here, and you will not apologize for the space you take." Women wore it. They wore it in restaurants that asked them not to. They wore it to meetings. They wore it with the shoulder pads. The restaurant bans weren't an obstacle. They were, in retrospect, free advertising. Now, Bandit got there first. 1944, Germaine Cellier, who we've met, who made Fracas 4 years earlier, created a leather and iris composition for Robert Piguet that remains one of the most uncompromising fragrances in the canon. Let me spray it on skin. The leather in Bandit is not a suggestion of leather. It is a conviction of leather. Cellier used isobutyl-quinoline, the compound that carries the leather accord, at concentrations her male counterparts considered outrageous. Bandit was considered too masculine for women. Women wore it anyway. Some women have always worn the thing they were told was not for them. Cellier knew this. She made the fragrance for those women. I want to resist the simple equation that difficult times equal dark fragrances, because the reality is more interesting than that. Some people wear armor fragrances in periods of personal contentment, in moments of professional security, because they simply love the smell of something dark and saturating and alive. The political reading is one reading. The personal reading is another, and both can be true simultaneously. What the consistent commercial success of Poison and Bandit tells you across multiple decades, multiple cultural moments, multiple reformulations, is that the desire to smell threatening is persistent and not circumstantial. There is a permanent market for the fragrance that says, I have made decisions and I'm not explaining them to you. Poison was not made for women who wanted to smell like flowers. It was made for women who wanted to smell like themselves on the most confident day of their lives and have that acknowledged. The restaurants that banned it understood exactly what they were banning. That knowledge didn't help them.